Okay, now we're going to create an insert page so that we can insert new cars into our table. And what I'm going to do is I've got my update page right here where it shows the make and the model, the image, and the price. What I'd like to have is a line under here on the bottom that is blank with a button that says Insert New. So what I'm just going to do is just add a new form on the bottom of this form with an Update New button, and then I'll send that information to an insert page that I'll create later on. So let's go to our secret.php page. This is the page that displays this update information. And I'll scroll down and I'll look, and we can see that we got this while loop here. This is where it loops through every single row in the database and prints out a form for that row. Now I want to have a row before, at the end, that is for inserts. So what I'm going to do is after the while statement is done, but before it echoes the HTML, I'm going to add another form. And the easiest way to do this is to just copy and paste all of this HTML dot equals, the form that we've got there already. So I'm going to hit Control C, and I'm going to paste it right here below the while. And then I'm going to make some changes. So the first thing I'm going to change is that the form action is not going to be to update, it's going to be to insert.php. I cannot have a hidden ID field because it's a new record. It doesn't have an ID, so there's no need in having the hidden ID field. We've got the make and model here. Here we've got a value that's of a variable. Well, we can get rid of that value. We'll just keep the value blank. The image will have a blank value, and the price will also be blank. I'll have a submit. The value on the submit will not be update car, but will be insert car. Okay, I'll go ahead and save that, and I'll refresh my PHP page, and now I can see I've got a place to put a new car on the bottom. When I press the insert car button here, you'll see that I will go to a page that I haven't created yet, insert.php. Well, let's go ahead and create that page. That page is going to post a bunch of names, or a bunch of input forms named make and model, image, and price. So I'm going to get 3 pieces of data out of that insert page. So I'm going to start by creating a new page. I'm going to go to New, and I'll do a file, Save As. I'm going to save this in the htdocs and call it insert.php. Okay, now that I've got my insert.php page, I can start by putting my PHP tags. I'm going to capitalize them. And what this page is basically going to do is it's going to harvest the data that has been posted, and then it's going to insert into the database, and then it's going to redirect to, or back to, the secret.php page. Alright, so let's start by harvesting the data. I expect that it will send the name of the make and the model. So I'll create a variable called make and model, and I will get that from the data that's posted. That's all capitals, half quotes, and that's the make and model. And then I want to get the image. So $image equals, again, I'll get that from the post array that was sent from the browser. And that form input was called image. And then the last form input that I want to get is the price. Okay, so now I've harvested the data from the browser, the data that wants to be inserted. So I'll go ahead and, you know what, I've got to get a connection to the database. I usually put the connections on top. So I'm going to come up here on the top and do insert. Sorry, it's not insert, it's include. And I'm going to include a file. It's called dbc, database connection.php. Alright, so that's on top. Now that I've got that, that'll give me the $con object. I just need the SQL, so I'll create an SQL string. And we're going to create an insert statement. So the way that we do this is we say insert into. So that's the SQL command. And we need to put the name of the table we're inserting into, in this case cars. We put some spaces here, keep it on different lines. And what I want to insert into is the column names. And then so I've got some parentheses there, values, and then I'm going to have some parentheses here that are going to be the values. So here I list all of the column names that I want to insert into, and here I list all of the values of those columns. So I want to insert into make and model column. I want to insert into the image column, and I want to insert into the price column. And the values that I'm going to insert are the same thing, except they've got $signs because those are the variables. So I'm going to copy this and paste this here, and I'll put a $sign in front of each one. Whoops. Control Z, $sign in front of that. Now that's a variable. Now that's a variable. And this is a variable. Now the price is an integer and does not require any half quotes around it, but the image is a string, so I have to put some half quotes around that. That's one of the requirements. And same thing with the make and model, so I put some half quotes around that. Okay, so this gives me my insert string, and now I can go on to the next step, and that's to actually execute the insert. And I'll do that by just calling the mysqli underscore query method. And within the query method, I have to put my connection, which database I'm connecting to, and I have to put my SQL string. All right, so that's going to execute that query, and now my data, if all went well, should be in the table right now. So now all I have to do is redirect back to the secret.php page, and then the new data will show up as that page is refreshed. So I'm going to use the header function. And all I have to do here is put in the location, which is a string. I'm going to say location : and then my location is secret.php. All right, let's test it out and see if it's going to work. Cross our fingers. Okay, so here I can refresh the secrets page. I'm going to put in a Dodge. What's a Dodge? I don't know, F10. I have no idea. Price, we'll say it's $78. And I'll hit insert car, and it came back, it inserted it, and then it selected it, and I can see it up here on top. So that worked excellently.